Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for The Walking Dead issue 170. This was actually a really good one. Probably the most fun I've had reading an issue in a good while. I feel like ever since around 150 or so, it's like most of the issues have been just alright. I mean, The Whisper of War was mostly good every single month, but I feel like a lot of issues have been and then a lot have been great. And we're just sort of at those two not really polar opposites, because I wouldn't say any have been bad. It's just either been or it's been really entertaining. I think was 160 the most entertaining one, whichever one was King and Queen. That might have been 158 actually, but that one, and then this one I am going to remember as being very enjoyable. Not even that much happened when it comes to huge reveals or anything. I mean, there were some good reveals, but I don't know. I just had a lot of fun reading it, and I think maybe that's the most important thing, I guess. But starting from the beginning to sort of judge what I like and didn't like about this. Starting from the beginning, I think the cover was nice, but not having Yumiko on it worries me a little bit for life expectancy, I said in the reaction. Apparently they're going north, but they're supposedly in Alexandria, right by DC, so I feel like if they're going to Ohio, I feel like going west would help them a lot more than north. Because to get from there to Ohio, you would have to go just a teeny little bit north and a good decent ways west. So I really do feel like going north, maybe they're just exiting from the north and then going west the whole time, but they specifically mentioned north, which I thought was weird. Going back through and rereading it, as soon as I read that, I thought that was weird. I was like, why north? Ohio isn't really all that much north from upper Virginia. Either way, though. Then we see Rick asking Jesus to help keep an eye on Dwight. I like in this, though, that Rick still trusts Dwight. The way he's like, I think Dwight's a good man. He's proven it over and over again. I just think he's in a dark place. But you can never really know, so just keep an eye on him. Also, Annie asks Rick to check on Mikey now that, of course, his mother is dead. Poor Mikey. Then we have Brianna trying to talk to Maggie on their way back to the hilltop, but Maggie is lost in thought. We see Negan being hilarious. I like as well that, of course, Negan's character, he just talks to himself, makes jokes to himself. He's like, I really need to save those for when I actually have people around. And then Dante, very conspicuous, watching him with his horse from the woods. Very easily visible, I would think. Either way, we see then that Laura is telling Dwight that she doesn't understand his loss. She never really had something as long-running as what he had with Sherry, but she also knows that he shouldn't act that way towards Rick. And I really like that. This has made me like Laura a lot, and already, even though I keep forgetting her name, she keeps growing on me, to the point where I really like Laura at this point, especially since she is the voice in Dwight's ear saying Rick is not like Negan was, and all of this stuff. And again, with that comment where Dwight was like, Rick, Negan, they're all the same, aren't they? I love how just the next page it was immediately juxtaposed by seeing Rick really truly empathizing with one of the members of his colony and consoling Mikey. Rick legitimately saying, I know where you're coming from, I feel the same, them crying together and him consoling Mikey. It was immediately proven that Dwight was in the wrong right here. And again, I kind of agree with what Rick says. I think Dwight's proven to be a good guy again and again, but I think the way the character is going is that he's hitting a dark spot, and hopefully he makes it out of this dark spot on the side of good, because Dwight is one of my favorite characters. Also, then we see the group that's leaving get to the edge of the safe zone, and I like seeing the safe zone more developed and seeing what it's like a bit, and how they have guards at the edge of it. I thought that was really cool to see, to actually get to see and not just hear them talk about, even though we didn't see all that much really. Then William brings supplies to Maggie, to building supplies, of course, to help rebuild the hilltop, which I completely love. William is such a cool character, such a cool guy. He's almost like, he's so nice and helpful, though, that, again, I feel really bad for his life expectancy because he's such a nice character. but I do really, really like William. We then see Negan crying at Lucille's grave, and Dante, the look on his face either looks like he feels sorry for Negan, and watching him has made him empathize with him now that he's seen what he's going through, that or he just thinks he's crazy. I can't really place the look on his face. It's either Negan is crazy, or I feel bad for him. The poor guy's crying at the grave of a baseball bat. So yeah, we still need to see what's going to happen with them. I'd kind of honestly like to see Negan be like, yo, I know you're following me, whoever you are, and Dante to be like, yeah, they told me to follow you around and see what you were doing, and Negan's like, cool, whatever. I'd actually like for Negan to just know about it and not really care. Be like, okay, cool, and just talk with him or something. Because that's the kind of character I see Negan being. He would just do something like that. But either way, then with the group that went outside the walls, Siddiq is on watch, and Eugene is on watch, if you know what I mean. Eugene, again, watching people bone, watching ladies bone, because apparently Yumiko and Magna, wow, I was struggling to get that out. Yumiko and Magna are a thing, apparently. So we have comic lesbians now, and I didn't see it coming. That was actually a pretty big surprise to me, just because I didn't see it coming at all. It completely blindsided me. I don't think it's a bad thing, though, because while it did completely blindside me, and while I didn't really see the build-up, I didn't really see any reason why it wouldn't be a thing that we just haven't seen as viewers yet, or readers, rather. So yeah, I don't have any complaints with it, but man, that was surprising. Siddiq then, they get over, because Siddiq's not paying attention or whatever, they get overrun by walkers. Siddiq is saved by Eugene, also Magna and, not Magna, Michonne and Yumiko, but Eugene kind of gets the credit for it, whatever. Then, cutting back, we get a scene with Jesus and Aaron, and I like seeing their romance actually play out a little bit on panel. That helps flesh it out and flesh them out a lot more, so cool with that. Jesus pretty much says that he trusts Dwight. Dwight's got this. They need to go back to the hilltop, or he wants to go back to the hilltop, because he feels like the two of them will be more useful there, which makes sense. I don't know if him disobeying Rick and not watching after Dwight, though, I don't know if that'll end up being a bad thing. Then we see just this awesome panel of the group entering this city. No clue what city it is or anything, but it was really, really good looking art. And just the art as they're walking through and everything, it just feels so fresh and so new. I like seeing the different landscape being urban rather than the normal rolling hills and plains of suburban DC and Alexandria that we're used to by now. So I do really, really like that. Also, the city's totally empty, which kind of makes sense. Because you figure, once walkers wander out, the city's kind of like a maze to a brainless zombie. Once they wander out into the plains and stuff, they're going to be out there. They're not going to go back into the city, and especially find their way back deep into it. So, yeah, I guess it makes sense that it's empty, really. And like they said, and especially the hot pavement and everything, probably does not do them very well for their life undead second life expectancy. It probably doesn't do them very well when it comes to rotting and such and drying out and all that. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that the city would be totally empty. Siddiq then, we get the reveal, Siddiq fucked Rosita, he the baby daddy. Well, it kind of makes me think Rosita's a bit of a hoe, though. I mean, she did kind of sort of string Eugene along whilst cheating on him and supposedly loving Siddiq and getting pregnant by him. So Siddiq's in the wrong, but Rosita was in the wrong too. But she's dead, so you can't really hold it against her as much. I don't know. If I was Eugene, would I be mad? Probably a little bit. Man, I don't know where this is going to go now. But I do like it. I like this extra little plot point we're getting in there. So yeah, issue as a whole. Let me talk about that as a bit. Since I talked about it part by part. I loved how much we jumped around. How much the issue jumped around was great. I love seeing all these different characters just spend a little bit of time, one page with one set of characters, another page with another set, and going around like that made it feel like it was just so full of content. Whereas if we saw everything with one group, everything with another group, everything with the third group, it would be the same length, but it would feel a lot less content heavy because we didn't jump around as much. So I love the way this was paced out. Also, I like that we checked in with the Hilltop. We were able to check in with the Kingdom a little bit with, well, at least with William bringing the supplies. Checking in with Mikey, not just forgetting that he just lost his mom, but actually checking in with them. Seeing the Jesus and Aaron romance a little bit more. Getting to see Dwight and Laura's conversation was great, Negan and Dante. And just the group we spent the most with, the city venturing to Ohio group, all of that was great. I like the little plot points we're getting in there, like the little surprises like Yumiko and Magna together, or that Siddiq was the father of Rosita's baby. All of that was really, really good. So yeah, I just had a lot of fun reading this one. A whole lot of fun. But, I mean, it wasn't the best in terms of what writing can be, I guess, but it was just really, really fun. So I'm going to give it 8.5 baby daddies out of 10. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you did like it. Comment down there to tell me anything you thought about this issue and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more The Walking Dead, much more. When the TV show comes back, I'll review the TV show week to week as well. Yeah, am I forgetting anything? Follow on Twitter if you want, and I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. Or if you want a link to our Discord server, just ask me. I can give you a link to that. That is it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.